It is a period of civil war. Atlas spaceships striking from Pandora have won their first victory against the evil Hyperion Corporation. During the battle, Pandora's spies managed to steal secret plans to Hyperion's ultimate weapon, QuickTime events, an armoured spaceship station with enough power to destroy an entire genre. Pursued by Telltales sinister agents, Princess Jonny races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the point. To the point and click adventure genre.
Harry,
Alright,
you were so committed to that. That was incredible.
if that didn't record.
After the first failed recording, we're doing Take Two, much like Take Two Interactive, the publishing studio for the game that we played this year. Take Two
Name
Interactive.
drop.
That is some good note taking.
Yeah, that's more note taking than I did, and I got you guys to play the game.
Anyway, the
Set up that joke
last
too much.
recording was not very professional, so let's do this professional. Hello and welcome to the Mediate Podcast.
2014.
Shut up, Meg. I'm your host, Harry Cottle, and I'm joined today by the man with the headphones, Jonathan Knowles,
Yes, I'm still here.
and Tony Wilson.
Tony Wilson, the man with the laptop that can't run the games.
Alright, should we just address that right off the bat? We'll get that out of the way.
Yeah,
The fact that
yeah.
I love Telltale, they're great. But I think some of their ideas are greater than their engine, because the amount of sort of pop-in and like the frame rate issues and just the game-breaking bugs you get in their games is actually slightly unforgivable.
Well, in some cases, it seems to make it unplayable.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
some of us haven't actually played
Some
the game.
cases literally unplayable. In not even in the joke sense, in the fact that my save got bugged.
In 2014, it's still the Russians.
Who were the bad? Well, we weren't our own enemy then. Those were simpler times. Okay. Opening question. Are you ready for this? It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
simple. Shag, marry, kill the 3 Borderlands robots, which are Claptrap, Loaderbot, and Gortys. And I've not played any of the Borderlands games, so there's probably more. Is there more Borderlands robots, Jonno?
There are definitely other loader bots. I mean, there's one that has an actual sort of personality. There's also Death Trap, Gage's robot that she made. But no, there aren't many. Depends if you count Angel as an AI or not. You know, some people I can't actually say without spoiling things, so
That's
I'll not mention that at all.
Okay, what's your order then, Jonno?
My order.
Who are you going
I
to
mean,
kill, first of all?
Problem is, I like all of them, which you find. I think I'll know
Well,
what
my
you're going to
options
go
are
for. Yeah,
incredibly easy.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really want to shag any piece of metal.
All right, you're a metal dude. Okay.
I think
Got a USB
I think Gortys
port.
would be the most comfortable one. Just that the. But then it's also the fact that Gortys is just a small child as
Yeah,
well.
Gortys is a day old.
I'm
Yeah.
very confused because as far as I got in Tales from the Borderlands, Gortys was like 2 separate metal keys
Oh
that,
my god.
that fit together, which is why
Yeah.
that's my shag. And of course, I'd marry Loaderbot, and I guess Claptrap's getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I'd also kill Claptrap. I'd marry Gortys because I'd feel uncomfortable because Gortys is like a day old
Yeah.
and
I
is a
regret
small child.
my life choices.
And I think Loaderbot would be a good shag, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think Loaderbot would be too rough for me. I'll be honest. Which is that's the problem. Why Gortys would be both my shag and marry. Which is I can't really pick.
All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
This next one.
I mean, I'd have to kill Claptrap though. Just he doesn't. He can't. Yeah. He'd be a friend.
Friend with benefit.
No.
Speaking of Shag, Marry, Kill, of the three, like Amazon Echo, Google Dot, and the other one.
Or are you talking
No,
about
you know
Google
those like
Assistants?
things you put in your home and like stick in the corner. So there's Alexa.
Yeah.
There's the Google Dot. There's one more, isn't there?
Does Connect count?
Xbox Connect, Shag, Marry, Kill.
I don't know enough about them to choose.
I mean, like, there's Alexa, Cortana, and Dot are the names.
Okay.
Imagine you're on Tinder, you got 3 matches.
I mean, they're both like soulless computer programs.
I mean, we opened up this can of worms about shagging AIs. I mean, we might as well carry on. Start as you need to go on.
I mean, Cortana has. Oh no, this is weird.
I mean,
Do we stop?
yeah, I don't think
There
we
was
can
a
really
point
do this.
where we should have stopped.
This
Right,
should
so-
never
so-
have been the question.
Harry, Tony, and Johnny. Marry, kill.
I'd kill myself to get out of this podcast.
Wouldn't we all? Alright, next question. Best fictional robot.
Best fictional
Which is a
robot.
broad question.
I've got a good one, but
Go
I
for
want
it.
you to go first.
But
for dramatic
I
suspense.
haven't even thought about this robot yet.
You wrote the question.
I don't answer my own questions.
Best fictional robot. I mean, there definitely is.
There is one. There
yeah,
is
there
a
must be.
answer.
There
I'm
must be
gonna-
one
I'm
that I've stored in my head, going, "Oh yeah, they're so amazing." But then I can't.
I mean, the obvious answer is
Cool, at the moment.
R2-D2.
I'm gonna pick.
Because R2-D2 is literally like the best Star Wars character. Cause he's
The main
only,
character.
He's the only one that does stuff.
I think I could guess Harry's favourite, which is also my favourite. It is the vending machine from VA11 at Hall A, which I know
Get
Harry,
out.
I know Harry loves so much, and
We'll see. We'll see when we reach 2016, which is in 2 years. The question is
can't.
too wide.
Yeah, no, I can't.
there are
It's-
too many good robots.
At the
I,
moment, I
Robot.
can't think of any.
I mean, there's
iRobot.
3 right there. Gorgeous
Yeah,
Lady.
yeah, I know, but that would be unoriginal to pick one of them. I mean,
If they're your favourite fictional robot.
to
What
be
about your
fair,
favourite?
I'd say that Claptrap is one of the best fictional robots.
I mean, that's just wrong.
You want to kill him?
That's just not true.
I killed him because I didn't want to shag or marry him, you know. People can be the best and you not want to shag or marry them. I was about to say Harry looking at Tony.
Okay, I, Jonathan Knowles, will move us swiftly on to my news section. My TV.
My news section. I've already done this once.
Yeah, but the time.
Oh,
swiftly
sorry.
what
Yeah,
we-
then I've done this
You
quite a
haven't-
few times before. Then
Oh yeah, we've done it. We've
Yeah,
done these
it's-
podcasts until the 1800s. It's quite some feat. Since
It's really
Yeah.
hard to find like games once you get past like the 19th century.
we
Yeah,
used to
so-
run classic literature.
so this is my TV, podcast, and other
When you
media
just said his
section.
spectacles was from the 1800s.
Come on.
Wow. Yo, your phones. Alright.
I mean, I don't
I
think I'll
mean-
ever forget that it's based in 1912, written in like 1940 something or
Yeah,
other.
it was
yeah.
1946, wasn't it? It was the year after the
1946,
first one.
yeah.
My
but
long-standing
2 years
grudge
before the first
with
one.
an Inspector Calls is a story for another time.
Yeah, this is my media and other things section, guys. Get your own personal section in the podcast.
I called it TV Roundup because I was thinking of like Woody's Roundup from Toy Story 2.
Okay, this is my TV roundup then. Right, so just the one thing for today, and it's BoJack Horseman. That was
BoJack
first
Horseman.
released in 2014.
It's the thing I've seen on Netflix hundreds of times and gone, that looks cool, and then never clicked on.
You need to click on it. It's one of those comedies that is so funny, so reflects modern life, and is also so depressing at the same time. It's probably one of the things I've watched the most. Because just when I'm bored, I'll just go, shall I watch BoJack Horseman? I'll watch BoJack Horseman again. It's you know, it's got Will on it. You know, he's
Okay, Batman.
he hasn't done that yet.
As of
If we break the continuity of this time loop, Mega Batman is really good.
Yeah,
as of
yeah.
say an arbitrary point in the future, 2017, how many seasons have come out by that point? Do you predict?
Well, at the let's randomly say by 2017 there'll have been 3 seasons. Will there? Yes, 3 seasons.
It's like Rick and Morty, then, isn't there? 3 of them.
Well, the 3rd season is just about to come out in
In a fictional
2017,
2017.
July the 20th. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's already been delayed so many times, but they're on the same path for the sort of funny cartoon comedies that are also really depressing when you look into them. Anyway, BoJack Horseman. It's got animals, animal people. That just happens.
It's like Sonic. You're just a hedgehog in the real world.
Yeah.
You never bother to explain it.
So it's about a failed, well, not exactly a failed actor. He's got one good break, and then he's had nothing since really. And it's him coping with loneliness and fame and all of those things. But it's
He's a
despite that, but he's a horse.
horse.
And,
Man.
Does he
yeah,
have a long
he's a
face?
Bojack. Yeah,
he's
if
got a long.
if he doesn't
very long
walk into
face.
a bar and the barman asks him why the long face, I mean,
No, it's so. You have flashbacks of how he first became an actor. He was a stand-up comedian, not a very good one to start off with. You get to see his opening joke, which is the "why the long face" one, and that was the first time I actually ever heard that joke. So it was.
you didn't get the joke.
Ugh.
Right. So Johnny's TV roundup, Johnny's nerd corner. What should we call it officially in all those podcasts that we've already done?
I feel this is something we should decide in our own time and not on the podcast. But yeah, it's
Shag, marry, kill. Johnny's TV roundup. Okay. I think we've rambled for a long time.
yeah. This is getting back to the time when we bring it on to the game. So the game I chose, Tales from the Borderlands.
Telltales from the Borderlands. I've been waiting to make that joke for thousands of years.
It's made by the Telltale group. I don't really know much about them. This is the first Telltale game that I've ever played. It's the only one at this moment in time. It's a good experience from it. It's funny and it's entertaining, and it's based in the Borderlands world, which is one of my favourite worlds ever. I've spent too long in that world.
It's better than the real world.
It is, but then it would also be a horrible dystopia to live in which everyone is just an evil bandit. But it works so well as Tales from the Borderlands, because it's a game that sort of revolves itself around a bit of being a game and not taking itself seriously, which is why it also works when you then have Tales from the Borderland come in and then take it even less seriously. It just works so well. So many things, reoccurring characters from the old things that I get to see and have my little nerdgasm about. I enjoyed that. It was just a great lot of fun. So what was your experience of the game then, Harry?
Can I just make one comment before we start? This is the first game, for the listeners, well, obviously we've done millions of podcasts, but of the ones that they're receiving, this is the first game that we've done that's not made by one dude.
Oh yeah.
Her story was literally Sam Barlow, and Valhalla was one dude who Tony should be able to tell me the name of.
I cannot, because I lost my sheet that had information on. I know it's Sukaban Games, and it's literally 2 people from Venezuela.
Damn, it's 2 people.
Yeah, I know.
My information was wrong. Also,
So instead of reaching the usual way of going 2, 1, 0 counting down, we've not done that. This was not a game made by no people.
well, in the case of Tony, it was basically made by no people past episode 3.
Oh no.
It just broke. And also, I don't know how we didn't mention this when we were talking about John Wick, but John Wick is literally a video game movie. It's like the most video game movie ever made. So yeah, that's why we broke the format and talked about that first. But yeah,
Anyway, so Harry, your experience of the game, then we'll move on to Tony.
I think we have to be very careful, because I came here today into my own home thinking that
With your 2 living rooms.
thinking that I could openly discuss Tales from the Borderlands at any old pace, picking out my favourite bits from episode to episode, but my plan has been scuppered, and I think I'm going to have to be very careful as to not spoil.
Just give your general opinion.
My general opinion. My opinion is, it's really good. It's a good game. Buy it. Yeah, I'm a big Telltale fan. Obviously, I wasn't one of the people that played any of their games pre The Walking Dead. So I played season 1, as it's now become, of The Walking Dead, and I loved it, as everyone did. And then I don't think I played any of their games for a while. I pretty much played all of them since then, apart from Game of Thrones. And it's Telltale are interesting because their quality can... Yeah, it's definitely... It dips and it rises. But...
You didn't play the Jurassic Park game.
I did not play the Jurassic Park game, which is famously... But the big problem with Telltale games, though, is the fact that ultimately your decisions don't matter. The fact that The Walking Dead, everyone was gripped until episode 5, and then everyone got the same ending. It's a bit like Mass Effect 3, when you made all these countless decisions, and in the end it comes down to one sort of big choice.
Three different explosion colours you can choose between.
Exactly, that's basically how The Walking Dead ends, and that's how most of their games end.
But then there is a problem with it. You can't easily make an open-ended game that has a good story for whichever pathway you choose, because you'll have to... More pathways you make, the less time you have writing them, and it's a sort of irritating trade-off. Is that usually what you want from a game is that kind of open-endedness, that sort of you can get in there and you can do what you want, but you can't really do that and have it, have any sort of speed at which it loads the game.
I don't mind it being sort of completely binary, but it presents everything as like, this person will remember that. Your actions will have massive consequences, and in the end they don't. There's a bit in Game of Thrones where you can either choose to shake someone's hand or don't, and I think your character gets killed no matter which one you do, because the game just decides, no, they're going to get killed. But The Wolf Among Us, which came out after this, but I played before, handled it really well. And I thought, wow, this is definitely Telltale's best game then. Until I played Tales from the Borderlands, which has overtaken it, because it also... I've got to avoid spoiling the ending, but the ending hands the sort of... it handles it well, alright? In the end, your choices matter. Kind of, in a cool way. I think we might talk about spoilers when Tony has vacated.
It's a great... I don't want to say gimmick, but it's a great gimmick.
You said it. So yeah, from episode 1 I was absolutely hooked. I think 2 and 3 are weaker than 4 and 5. Definitely. I think the 5th episode is comfortably the best, just because it has a massive tonal shift. And but yeah, it's really good. It's stunning. I think Borderlands is a good looking game.
It is,
because it's obviously it's kind of cel shaded. But Telltale have a similar art style, and I think the two sort of, I don't think franchises, because one's a company that make games. But when they merge, it looks really nice.
There's definitely an overlap.
And we all played different versions of the game, didn't we? I played the Xbox One.
Yeah, I played the iPad,
and I played the PC version on my laptop, and much to the dismay of the PC Master Race, mine was the one that completely broke.
Because you got it in the Steam Summer Sale. They knew. You bought a budget version.
Those were faulty ones and zeros that I downloaded.
But yeah, straight from episode 1, it has to teach you how to play a Telltale game, because a lot of people haven't. It's got to teach you, you get 4 options of dialogue and you interact with things, and it does it quite well, because it doesn't sit you down and go, this is a tutorial. You don't actually play for the first 5 minutes, and I think there's an annoying stupid bit where you walk past a can and you can either kick it to get the joke, or you don't kick it and someone walks into it and you get the same joke. And from then on I was like, oh, do I actually have to play another one of these Telltale? I've done this all before. But the reason I enjoy it so much is because it takes the piss out of itself. The whole "we'll remember that" has been a sort of running gag about their games, and it's so long. And obviously, I think 2K have sat down and gone, no, we're going to create every joke we possibly can from this. So there's robots. It says instead of "we'll remember that," it's "we'll store in its memory banks."
Yeah.
If you skip the end credits, the Telltale team will remember that. And then was there a character called? What's he called? Is he called Shade? Shade. If you reject him, it just appears Shade is used to rejection. There's at one point, if you brofist as someone, it says girls can be bros too. It just, you get nice little messages. It's just really...
Why did you reject Shade though, Harry?
Because he was annoying me, compromising the situation. Oh no, I made a lot of bad decisions in episode 1. I blew a load of butt up.
No, yeah, I mixed up
blew my load. a bot.
And then you ran for it.
I renamed my firstborn child Loaderbot.
Yeah, some great lines, great moments. Actually, hard choices, and you do end up liking the characters and caring, or at least I did.
I remember I played the first 2 episodes, and I was like, I love it. It's hilarious.
Mhm.
I don't give a shit about any of the characters, and I thought I'm enjoying it because it's being told in this interesting. It's being narrated in an interesting way.
Mm.
So it's obviously you have the unreliable narrator technique, which we'll probably get onto when we talk about the film, and you have a few nice bits of humour come from that, like the whole bro joke.
That was good. The other bit of someone, I don't know if you got this bit, but when someone jumps onto the back of a motorcycle, this interjects of "There's no way that happens." Like,
Yeah.
yes, it happened that way. Like now.
Also, the great choice of like "Breaker's heart blows mine" in episode 1. So I've definitely found it funny, and the problem I have with some of the later episodes is it moves away from it forgets how it's being told, and it just becomes like a sort of regular linear story. It never doesn't jump back and forth as it's doing at the beginning. But by that time, you're so invested in the characters, it doesn't really matter. Like you actually care about what's going on.
And the reasons when it interjects later is because the interjections are adding something to the plot rather than to open with when it's interjecting for comedy.
Just trying to avoid spoilers as well, I'll mention that I didn't like Handsome Jack, but that's because I think the reason is because I didn't play Borderlands 2.
Yeah,
It felt like a big... Okay, so in Cheers, there's a character called Frasier who had his own very successful spin-off show, which a lot of people have seen without seeing Cheers. When a character from Cheers appears in Frasier, like the studio audience go mad, and like everything they say gets a laugh and stuff, and that's how I felt Jack was. Like, literally everything he said was like a reference to something he'd said before, which I didn't really get. Like, I'd spent more time with like Reese than Jack, so I cared more about Reese than Jack. I feel like there's definitely a presumption that you've played the previous
but
game.
I still think, I mean, you can get by not having played it, but
Oh,
the
yeah,
characters
comfortably.
mean less to you because it's because a lot of your conversations with Handsome Jack, you either act as a fanboy or say that what he did was wrong.
Oh yeah, I was just like, what you did was wrong because I didn't fucking know what he did.
Yeah. So I could actually sort of think what my feelings were. But basically, what he does is he takes over the Hyperion Corporation by killing the person in charge. He then has extensive mining operations that make it to the detriment of everybody else. And in Borderlands 2, what his plan is he wants to get this creature, control it, and then get it to kill everyone in Pandora, basically, to bring order. So what he's trying to do is kill all the bandits, because Pandora is full of bandits. And, that's ultimately a good thing, because that's what you do, is you kill bandits as a Vault Hunter most of the time.
Gotta get that XP.
Yeah. But the problem is he thinks Vault Hunters are also bandits and the people who are just trying to live their life. So he's both clearly a bad guy, but also he's two shades as well, because you can argue that he's the good guy throughout the whole of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the game does a good thing where it like introduces Hyperion at the very start of Tales from the Borderlands and says you are the bad guys at some point.
That is sort of.
Which is
There's quite a nice. I won't spoil it, but it does sort of blend the sort of. Are you the bad guy? It tries to pull that on you at the end. I don't know how well it does it, but there's a great quote like everyone thinks they're the good guy of their own story. I think I'm probably paraphrasing that, but I quite like that theme that runs throughout it. And the last thing I'll say while we're remaining spoiler free, because we've all played episode 2, is the fucking bit with the eyes.
Oh, no.
The
The
eyes.
spork. The worst bit about that, like taking the eye out wasn't as bad for me, but when it came back that you open the video log and it says
It's so funny because
he was
he's eating
in
with the
stasis.
spork.
Yeah.
He's eating with the spork. It's actually my revival time. It's just the reverse shot of everyone's facial expression from that is incredible.
I mean, so for people who are unsure, there's a scene in which you have to remove a person's eye using a spork to try and open a computer console that needs a retina scan. And I did that on the iPad screen. So you guys, sitting there with your mouse or with your little joystick, and I'm there going, yep, just round the eye, yep, Yeah, this is great.
I don't want to. Again, I have to say I don't want to spoil it, but there is because the eye remains in your inventory. At one point, you do just pull out the eye and use it to unlock a door, and you get like Athena's like, "Why are you carrying around an eye?" It's like a very sort of meta commentary of video games.
You have to keep those key items. You never know when it will become useful. Or you just can't drop it from your inventory.
And another good moment, which I think Tony did reach, is when you have to decide to go either one of two places, and your character is there going, "Oh yes, I often talk to myself when I have big decisions to make. Do we go here and head them off, or do we go here?"
That is great. I can imagine 2K writing the script and Telltale just like seething as they fucking. Alright, so Tony, before we force you into the nether regions,
What?
Get down there, boy! Right. For 10 minutes so we could discuss the ending and the great plot twists and all that. What did you think of episode 1, 2, and how much of 3?
I saw the introduction, so recap of episode 2 multiple times because there was a bug that was literally in the first minute or so that would just crash my computer.
It was quite a funny bug though.
There was basically how it sets up is as you're retelling the story, Fiona and Reese, they're in a car with Mystery Man, who I don't know who he is, and basically there's a shot of just the car driving, and instead of people sitting in the car, they're all just running in the car, stationary, like as the car's moving, if that makes sense. And then there's the question of how could you, spoilers for the last episode, how could you trust Fiona, since that's the decision I made.
That's the decision I made.
And as it pans
we all made the same decision.
The interesting about that is I probably, if I had more time, I would have trusted Jack, but it felt more sense.
I didn't give Jack a second of my
I
time.
do not trust Jack.
I didn't opt for any of his the entire game. I never.
There was only one time I regret trusting Jack, and that was when I used his insult of Wallet Head, and it made me feel bad for hating Vasquez.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't do that, because you're setting Vasquez up as a villain. Let me hate him and be an arsehole to him.
Vasquez was never a villain.
The game sets up and it's like your nemesis, bad guy.
Yeah, but the second you hear the voice actor's voice, then you're like, that's Joe from Family Guy. It's like he's way too he's too charismatic to hate. Like
that's sort of what Handsome Jack is sort of throughout all of Borderlands 2.
Handsome Jack's annoying at least. Vasquez is just like quite funny.
But that seems to be the sort of people you get with Hyperion, is the sort of those
Nice.
charismatics want to get to the top types.
And so basically agreeing with what everyone else said, that it's an incredibly funny game and Zero is really cool. And
I like how much Reese loves Zero as well.
Obviously always picking the options to talk about how cool Zero is. And hopefully if my save file starts working again at some point, I'll finish it, because I think the game's done a pretty good job of setting up this story, and I hope it pays off well. So unfortunately I won't be able to score it at this time, so I'll have to leave the audience in a bated breath as to what I eventually give it at some point in the future.
Well, I'm sure we could stick an additional bit of content onto 2013. We'll go back to that year, and we can find out what you think about it.
So now I will be bidding you all goodbye, and I'll
getting banished into the Phantom Zone.
Just leave, Tony. Just leave.
Which of your 2 living rooms should I go in, Harry?
That is the second time that has been.
It's a recurring joke. Goodbye.
Bye.
Call when you're doing.
Yeah, we'll call. We'll call.
It's the most professional podcast ever made. We could just edit all this out, but we won't.
Yeah, I mean, we should have had the actual door slamming. Edit in a door slamming.
We really should have. So anyway, the plot twist is really fucking good. It's not even a plot twist. It's a reveal that Tony predicted it, and he knows who the mystery man is. You saw it coming, and it completely blew my mind.
Loaderbot.
I love Loaderbot. There's a great line. I think it's in episode 3 when he's holding something and Gortys is like wheeling him along, and he's the line, "I am become pain," which is incredible. But yeah. I didn't realise that Gortys. I thought he'd reached the part where he knew who Gortys was. And Gortys is the most incredible character of all time.
Yeah, it's amazing how in literally like the first 3 seconds in which I'd met Gortys, I already loved them. You know, I was just there going, and just moments later when you've got the dead body there, and then it's like
Sleeping.
Yeah, should we wake him up? And I can't bring myself to tell Gortys about death.
Oh, did you put the blame on what's his name, Vasquez?
Yeah, I did. I think
really
we both
want to
did
know
that.
because we both put the blame on Vasquez. And he died.
Yeah.
But I think the plot wanted us to kill him. So
Yeah, because I can't see
I can't see what would happen
August
if you would have put it on August.
Yeah, because
Maybe Vasquez would have stepped in and taken the blame. I don't know. I mean,
no, since Valerie is the mother of August, yeah. So I don't see her killing her son, but it is possible that it just completely flips it. But then you need Vasquez. I mean, I guess there could be a way to get around Vasquez still being alive, but then you still couldn't use.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's quite important for episode 4, which episode 4 has the most emotional moment in the entire game: the death of Scooter. Which is, I can't believe they made me care about Scooter. He's the coolest guy.
Oh, he is. He's in all of actually. I don't think he's in the pre-sequel, but he's in all the Borderlands games, and he's just he's been so great in it. Okay, this is one of the main reasons why I like Tales from the Borderlands. Is from playing the games, your character doesn't really have a voice. When you get to the pre-sequel, your characters actually start beginning to say things, but before that, you can't speak. So after being in a world in which I was a mute, it is so nice to suddenly be able to talk to people. Now, literally, first moment you meet Scooter, there's a bit where you can either push him away, you can say you're a creep, a weirdo, stay away from me, or you can say you're awesome, Scooter.
I think I did
and
that as well.
within a second I pressed you're awesome, Scooter, because I've been waiting for 2 games to tell him that he's awesome.
It's sad. When he dies there, you get the Telltales Scooter will never forget you. You can display a message at the end, in which you didn't display Catch a Ride, which I'll never forgive you
Space
for.
Cowboy. Anyone who's seen Cowboy Bebop will understand why. But I think See You Space Cowboy is the best one to put up, because there's a bit later when some guards notice it, point at it, and question you about it. And I imagine if it's Catch a Ride, they're like, that's some slogan or whatever.
Yeah.
With See You Space Cowboy, they go, wait, is that an anime thing?
There are when at the end when Gortys becomes a massive robot, you get this as her final form. So there are a lot of references like that throughout it. It's like, it's a good game.
So many references, so many good moments. A plot that is actually interesting. Stuff happens. Some choices you have to make. Just the moment when Scooter's saying how he wasn't quick enough to get his hand in and out. It's like, oh.
Can I give you 2 up, 1 down? 2 good things, 1 bad thing, really quickly. There's some great moments that I love. Butt Stallion. The entire tour is incredible. I love that bit. I was laughing non-stop. And also Sasha's drop.
That is
really clever.
Just because you're following Reese for the whole of it, you're believing it, and then when Reese realizes, you realize as well, and then it's sort of oh, this game had me there.
I think I'll hit you with all my negatives in a row, and then I'll score it. All right. One thing is, I don't know if we're supposed to care about Yvette, but it's just like, she's your friend. Like, no, you can't just tell me that someone is my friend and then spend no time with them, and then make me care when they betray me. Like, I didn't care at all about Yvette.
Yeah, but I mean, there was the fact that she was there and helping you and sending Loaderbot. There was that kind of support. She was, because throughout. Yeah, she's less of a friend, more of a support throughout the whole thing, because you think that she's the one who'll get you out of things, so she feels like the crutch, and then.
So yeah, that was a bit.
But yeah,
I love the 2 protagonists, but I mean, so was it Reese and Fiona?
Yeah.
So I love.
Just going back to Yvette, did you save her at the end?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh.
I don't think I cared about her.
You get the choice to make her leave the cell or not, I had her come with me.
Oh, no,
And then later she almost dies again, like a few seconds afterwards. So I was there thinking, oh, it's going to be the Telltale thing of they die anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I did end up saving Yvette.
I need to praise the game because it actually has a female protagonist, but
Yep.
it's about 70% the male and 30% the female. Like that's because like I don't know. I think like
I felt it was more half and half, but
front and center of all the marketing is Reese, and in the end, Reese is the active one. He's the one that does stuff. I feel
Fiona
like-
is the one who comes up with the ideas, though. She's the actual clever one who can survive in this world. Reese is the one who's plodding through. I think the reason why Reese is more the main character is because he's the better person to see it from introducing
Yeah.
this world.
I do
Because
get
he's as
that.
clueless as you are. Whereas Fiona, I can...
I feel like
I see it much more through Fiona's
after
eyes.
after they start hanging out and you're following both of them together, the narrative's a lot less interesting than at the very start. When you're following them, sort of, you get one story from two different perspectives, which is really interesting. I thought Tales from the Borderlands was like 5 different tales. I'm glad it wasn't, but it would have been interesting to see what they could have done like that. Episode 5, love it. It's the best one, but the very end is a little bit scary when you're in control of 2 characters talking to yourself, and you feel a bit like you're playing God.
It's like when you click 2-player on a game and you're the second player as well. It's just like
It is a bit weird, but that I know we'll probably get onto scores, but I was thinking this is the best Telltale game I've played. It's better than The Wolf Among Us, which I love, better than The Walking Dead. It's an 8 out of 10. It's a solid A. And then episode 5 happens. Which I enjoyed the start of episode 5, but then you just get hit with like the loader bot reveal, and then everyone comes back and they're all happy, and then there's the bit where you get to build your team, and like depending on the actions you've made depends on who's locked and unlocked.
Yeah.
And I just and then you actually get the bit where you beat up the giant bulldozer, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And there's a really clever thing about Telltale, again, making a sort of a comment on their own gameplay. When Gortys can't fight it herself, but when she's got people in there controlling her, the inputs become more complex. You have to go down. It actually becomes like a fighting game, which I really liked. And yeah, just that feel good mood at the end of the game. Like it's just. I was just like, this is 9. This is a 9, and that's all I have to say about Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah,
also, we will have to discuss our teams.
Oh yeah.
After what we've got to say now.
Right. So, I think I'm gonna keep it on 8 out of 10 for my rating of it. No, I like it. I don't think it's quite a 9 out of 10, but it is good. It's hilarious.
2 a 9 out of 10 for you.
Yeah, I'd give Borderlands 2 a 9 out of 10.
Curiosity.
Just because I think I prefer the actual games. This was nice though as a sort of addition to the world and a different experience in the world, which was very nice. Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Marvellous.
Anyway, so teams then?
Teams, really quick before Tony joins us again. It was the couple, obviously.
Obviously the couple. You've got to go for the couple.
And I chose Zero, because Zero's cool. And I wish I had chosen Felix. Or August, because they're 2 more interesting characters. But when you give me Zero as an option, it's going to be Zero.
Yeah, I didn't have Zero as an option because I wasn't singing his praises as much as I think the 2 of you were, and I was also
spoiler-free zone.
This is a spoiler-free zone. He hath returned.
Yeah. So. So I couldn't have.
You did the thing that we've already discussed and we can no longer discuss. I think that we will, in 2013, we will have to include a little 5-minute, 10-minute discussion with Tony about Tales of the Borderlands.
If my
You can give
save
us
works.
a score. Well, if it doesn't, then just, I don't know, skip episode 3 if you have to.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the weakest one, don't worry about it. Do we move on to the Grand Marigold Hotel? The best exotic Budapest hotel?
Should we just call it by its actual name for once? It's the
Moving on from Telltales of the Borderlands.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. It's taken so long.
So, will you introduce your film and tell us what you think before we roast it?
So this is one of the best films. It's
the best films.
Yeah, it's
Don't even need additional context for that.
yeah, it's the Grand Budapest Hotel, directed by Wes Anderson. Got yourself Ralph Fiennes in there. Any actor you can name, they're probably in
They
there.
are, aren't they? It's
Yeah,
terrifying.
Like Jude
Tilda
Law, Tilda
Swinton's in it.
Swinton,
You can't recognise
playing the
her.
Duchess. So many people. Yeah, and it's a comedy. It's also
Keep going down. It is comedy.
it is a comedy. It's so damn arty. It's for me. It's got drama and it's got emotion. It does everything and it does it well, which is just amazing to see a film do all of that. And the music as well is good. I think it's like one of the only or few comedies that have got awards for the music. I can't remember the exact award or things, but it just does everything so well, and it just the tone of it is great, and the little things they do when filming it as well. The shots that they make are all beautiful. The moments where it's sort of not CGI stuff, but that sort of stuff, they don't try to make it realistic. They keep a sort of storybook style look
That's
to
true.
it, which just works and is so unique. Just the shots they do, it's just
You've got a lot of the same points as me. It's just a break
probably
up.
do, but you
Instead of
can-
making this an echo chamber, I think we should have Tony go before me.
Okay,
Get a sandwich
well,
of the same opinion.
this is definitely a difficult one to analyze
Thank fuck you agree.
because I'm not sure. It's just a very weird film, and so I'm not sure what it was trying to do. However, I will say that leaving the experience, I was like, that was a story. So I'm not sure if the broad strokes of like the tone it was going for. If you told me it was a comedy, and I like avoided looking at like the genre thing because
Oh yeah, I had no idea what it was about.
yeah, just trailers, just any sort of pretext
Yeah,
are bad.
nothing.
So
I
going
didn't
blind.
know until I looked at the thing saying it's one of the
And
few
it
comedies to get a
is-
music award.
It
So
is the best way to see a film. To know
Yeah.
nothing. Also, it won like 4 or 5 Oscars. We should probably say that this
Yeah.
did very well. Although
It-
they
it
were
did
all
do
in
well.
like
It's
costume and
the-
cinematography like that.
but it's also in 2014 it was the only independent movie that made the most money. Made the most money of any independent film that year.
Yeah.
Is the better way to phrase that. Also, I think it only had like partial release or something, so it wasn't released in all the sort of blockbuster places. It was the one that made the most money of the
The
sort of
local
partial.
multiplex.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
might say.
So it was successful for its. I don't want to say little indie audience, but
Oh, it's definitely not an indie film.
yeah,
it's got such a big budget.
I know. Well, it's the biggest budget that Wes Anderson has had, I think.
Could you imagine if you gave Wes Anderson like 500 million? What would he do with it?
Yeah, it's.
He'd invent like a planet.
I think by the sound of it, he spent a lot of the money on Tilda Swinton's makeup. The people that.
So unnecessary.
Yeah, but reading.
He obviously had like.
She's the old lady.
He had like 20
Yeah,
mil
yeah.
left, and he was like, I might as well spend it.
Yeah, because I think it's something that he said is like usually because he's used to tight budgets, he cuts costs at every corner. But when it came to the makeup for Tilda Swinton's character, he was just like, "Fuck it, we'll get the best guys."
It's like the thing is, limitations breed creativity. You just need to compare Star Wars and the Phantom Menace to see that.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else, Tony? Would
Um,
you say your overall experience was positive or negative?
I would say positive. There were definitely moments of things where looking at it, I'm not sure why they did it in the certain way. The fact that it's a story told within a story told within a story.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up.
And the fact I see what it does in terms of like almost providing context for the story that's told in a way, but the layer of the fact that it's someone reading a book within someone talking, just so many layers of Inception style depth that I'm not sure what that added, if I'm trying to say.
A sort of comedy moment of it zooming in and zooming out, I think, is one of the things. But also the kind of that these are stories in the past type sort of thing. I can probably argue for it.
I think it's a way to address the source material.
Yeah.
Because it was
that's a good way of putting
obviously
it.
she looks in the back of the Grand Budapest Hotel book,
Mm-hmm.
which was written by the author you see earlier, who was Jude Law, who's hearing the story from Zero.
Yeah. You get to...
Zero the Ninja. Borderlands.
Oh God,
I've actually written that note.
So cool.
It's sort of doing, sort of tracing where it has come from, how it has
It's
got
similar
to
to
here.
Life of Pi in the fact it's a story about a story, and it's a very difficult thing to address in a film.
Yeah. But it just, and I think, well, you can say it's just because they wanted to do some nice shots, because
It was all for cinematography.
but it changes the size of the screen depending on which part of it is. So reading the book is the most modern looking screen size. Then you go back, and when you get to the actual main story of it, it's in that kind of it's square rather than rectangular, which is.
I would have quite liked to have seen it projected.
Yeah.
It's a bit like 2001. You literally can't watch it not projected, because it's like the whole point of it is the visual aspect.
Yeah, so I think it says exactly what brightness settings you want when watching it, exactly what screen size you need to
60 by
have.
9 as well.
Yeah.
It comes up in the beginning with like a nice warning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely agree that the fact that the cinematography is really incredible. I really like, for some reason, one shot stuck in particular out to me is the one where it's the cable cars that cross.
Oh, that is good. It's all so cool.
That was really cool. And that scene of just completely just going, are you the dude? Forgot his name because it's really big.
M. Gustav.
M. Gustav.
H.
Are you H.M. Gustav?
Confess.
And
I didn't do it.
Yeah. Pointing that out, it's
that's my favourite.
It's when it's comedy. Maybe this might be due to the fact that I have below average intelligence, but I'm not sure which moments I'm supposed to be like aware it's a joke.
You need laugh tracks.
Yeah, I hate laugh tracks, but the bits where like I'm supposed to be aware it's a joke, because I try and take something at face value and see like, okay, this is happening, I'm taking it serious, but then it will come out with like out of left field with like a completely like I fuck old people style joke. And
well, it's because it's who he is.
I know. I think I like that.
Because
almost weird, like what's the fancy
it's-
word for it? Juxtaposition of.
It's sort of all trying to be poignant. My favourite moment of this is in the train scene, the sort of first train scene where M. Gustav is sort of saying, all this. There's still kindness among humans. Then he just gives up and goes, oh, fuck it. It's just that's the sort of tone of it. It's just sort of going, oh, this all means something. Oh no, it means shit all.
It did take me a while it took until Ralph Fiennes was being Ralph Fiennes. He's a very good actor. Until I realised it was a comedy, because there was a comedy before. It doesn't start as a comedy. That's the interesting. It doesn't particularly. It opens incredibly it's incredibly melodramatic in its title cards, and it's sort of over the top. But I didn't realise it was just an out and out comedy until.
I mean, you've got the moment when the sort of the current sort of hotel runner is just there, and the person starts choking, and then he goes shit, and then just runs out, and that's what I'd say is the first comedy moment there, and it's just so brilliant because you've got the internal monologue of the writer just going, just sort of very fancily saying that somebody started choking. Something that required his attention elsewhere. And then you get that sort of brief moment, his face, and then shit, and then he runs off, and then it goes straight back into that very upper class sort of stiff upper lip kind of speaking.
Can I review it in one line?
Okay, Harry, give you a one.
3 words: style over substance.
Ooh.
No, because I have so much on style, because it's well shot, excellent cinematography, well edited. It looks like a Cadbury's advert. It's the most high budget Cadbury's advert.
Does it have the gorilla playing on the drum kit, or am I thinking of a different chocolate bar?
No, you are thinking of the same one. Inception narrators, because there's narrators within narrators, which is it's an interesting way it's told. Wes Anderson does that a lot. He sort of stories within stories and like films about the nature of storytelling, and it is an interesting kind of way to make a film, I guess. Fair play to him. Title cards are well produced. Every shot is almost symmetrical. Like you could cut any shot on that film in half. You could take any of the first 10-15 minutes of that film, take any shot, and it's like a great photograph. You'd see it like on a and that's probably the best thing about the film is it won all the awards for its visuals, and it is incredible. The actual plot, the substance of the film, there isn't enough to carry the runtime. I think it's a bit. Okay. I think it's about 10 minutes too long for what it has to go with. It's helped by its cast because it's got literally everyone in it. So, some are good. One in particular was unwatchable. Oh. The thing is, though, I think the performances are sort of meant to feel unnatural. No one's meant to feel like a real person.
Yeah, I was waiting for a human being to show up for the start of the film.
Edward Norton as the chief police officer is particularly unwatchable. His performance is so wooden. I was expecting Brad Pitt post Inglourious Bastards to walk on.
Well, that's because he sort of is a kind of nothing character. He's got nothing to do with that character. He
in particular, I like Edward Norton, but no. Willem Dafoe is another film with him in.
Oh yeah, because we've gone from John Wick, where he's like the one that saves people, to now he's the vicious murderer. I mean, he already was a vicious murderer, but now he's a vicious murderer.
I can never not see the Green Goblin with Willem Dafoe though. Expecting him to like pick up Zero and go, together we could rule the city, or we can just fight to the death. Bill Murray's in it, like unrecognisable for about 30 seconds.
Apparently, George Clooney is in it.
Is he?
Yeah, in the gunfight at the end.
Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum's got quite a big role. Oh no. Okay, this is a. The film is. I don't know, because it's so incoherent and confusing and convoluted. You feel like it would be an incredible collection of short films. Yeah. Like the chase scene with Jeff Goldblum and Willem Dafoe. Can't say their characters' names, which tells you a lot. That chase scene where he takes off his shoes is so cool.
Oh, that
and
is
the
good.
fingers getting chopped off.
That is good.
Yeah. So this is
sorry, just to put in. Scenes like that. Does that seem like a scene that is in a comedy? Because I want to see what people's.
It's a black comedy.
Actual definition.
Jeff Goldblum's cat gets like thrown at one point.
Just throw my cat out the window.
But what makes a comedy? Because this is a debate we've had about The Martian, which is released in 2016 in the future.
Which is literally a comedy.
And just like, what defines a comedy? Is it just a film that has jokes, or is it something more broad about the tone of the film?
I think it's to do with the tone, but the reason for the tone is because it's all a sort of illusion.
Yeah. Because of the tone, and it's ridiculous melodramatic nature, the film is lost in its own absurdity. So much to the point you're not invested in any of the characters really. You don't really care what's happening because you're just enjoying. It's basically like It's a Small World. You're just sat there. You're seeing all these nice things. It doesn't really mean a lot. And you come out at the end and go, "Oh, that was pretty good." If you sat down to like break down the plot, I doubt there would be anything worthy of note.
I think it's an experience in the sense that you're just meant to just be there, just witness it, you know,
looks amazing.
And try and. I don't think it's something that has to be completely understandable, if that makes sense. I think the fact that it is almost hard to comprehend adds to the film, you know.
One last point I have to make, which is it is just a giant Monty Python sketch in its ridiculousness. Like it's just it is like just watching like the Monty Python show, and it's just like sketch after sketch. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you've got like prison escapes chases.
Oh yeah.
The skiing bits from Bond. With ridiculously
the skiing scene. Oh my god.
Top CGI.
That was so good.
I love.
Yeah. So, going back to the scene where the fingers get cut across the door. This nicely sort of opens up the fact that you only see one character, or possibly two, die on screen, and it's during the prison fight when the guy stabs a person, then gets stabbed himself.
Yeah.
And that's after he's taken out like 4 other guards.
No, you see Willem Dafoe get kicked off.
Yeah, but you don't see him splat.
That's true.
You see, you
I
see the
can't-
fingers cut off. You don't see the death. You see, everything that's sort of brutal is done off camera, which just makes it. That's what I really like, because you've got the. I think another good scene at illustrating this is, the bit where you have the lady from Mindles, and you think that William Dafoe is after her, and then she's hearing clattering around and goes sort of pokes her head up, closed down, and then suddenly it crops up with a local girl's head found in basket, and just that.
Yeah,
it just does that.
That bit got me for a second. I was like, oh no,
Yeah, just. Oh yeah, another interesting thing to point out about those articles. Wes Anderson wrote the actual articles underneath the headlines. It's one of the few things where the articles actually say stuff about it.
Wes Anderson's a genius. He's very interesting because he's so stylish.
Mm-hmm.
The way he crafts his movies is incredible. And it's definitely a film I sat going, this is amazing. This is an amazing piece of art. It's an advocate for cinema, is artistic and it's great. I can appreciate why critics love it, why everyone loves it. If it is a Friday night, would I want to sit down and watch it again? Probably not. It's like you can appreciate a film for being good without actually enjoying it that much. It's definitely one of those.
I feel like the way I see it is your enjoyment is the only way you can measure something, because you can't experience things from other people's frame of reference.
Who gave a 10 out of 10 to her story again, which you couldn't.
No, that was from my own experience, imagining other people's experience.
I mean, it is a good film.
Yeah.
You can't say it's not a good film, but I don't know. Yeah.
I
think the only way I can summarise my opinion is to stick an arbitrary number at the end of it.
Well, you see, for me, it's got my type of comedy in there, that kind of false gentleman nature, and then just with punchlines of swear words and moments like that, and sort of little witty exchanges and bizarre moments, and I did end up caring about the characters. So this is the second time I've watched it. The first time I think I was, even though it was only like 3 years ago, I think I was a bit too young for it. I was half asleep. I saw the beautiful shots and didn't really know what was going on. So I think this time I had a good level of not really sure what was going on, but knew enough to know, this is when this is happening, this is when this is happening.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thrown off by any of the weirdness. I could tell exactly what was going on throughout. So that helped and meant the plot was definitely, for me watching it the second time, the plot was reachable and enjoyable, and I got to perhaps look at other sides to it being... this is, I think, the closest a film has made me to crying, which...
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's...
What are the sad bits?
I mean, for me, it's like there's not enough dramatic tension or dramatic moments to be a drama, and there's not enough jokes to be a comedy. It's in a weird middle space where it needs to...
Dramedy.
From my point of view, it does.
Pick a side.
From my point of view, it does both of them brilliantly and better than most films do. Because there are definitely tense moments. The going through the museum bit, and then you think he might just make it out, and then you see the shoes being taken off, and from that this guy's too much of a professional. It has those moments, and again with the middle bit, it just speaks to me. But the bits that made me really quite sad is the end, another sort of off-screen death of M. Gustave, just because. And then sort of talking about it, how he is the creator of this illusion that he never really could belong in, and just the sort of fact that he was too good for this world, basically. The fact that he was too kind to live in such a harsh world. If
I found this film on Netflix and didn't know anything about it, I would have loved it. But you got to sit and watch a film and go, like, this has won 5 Oscars, let's see what all the hype and fuss is about. It was good, but same with Moonlight. Moonlight's is just like, I can't even describe Moonlight. It's such a good film. But if you sit and watch it, you go, this is a bit overrated, because it's sort of critical. It's part of the reason in 2016/17 people hated La La Land, because people who saw it pre all the hype were like, "Oh, this is amazing." People who saw it post all the hype were like, "This is terrible."
I love the fact that how it almost won the Oscars. Like for those 20 seconds, it was overrated until it immediately became underrated again.
Pretty
It's
much.
like-
And Moonlight was underrated until it became overrated when it won it.
Well, with me watching these films, I don't pay attention really to the Oscars or anything like that, so I didn't know about the awards. First time I watched it, all I know is my brother sitting me down going, "Oh, you have to watch this." And then, it sort of stayed in my mind as a good thing, and I watched it again and realized it's really great. Yeah, everybody needs to see this. It's one of the best films. That's my feeling of it. It is one of the best films.
Right, so because it has to be done, slap a number on the end, and then we can be done with this film.
So
Until I rewatch it in about 7 years' time and go, actually, that was better than I gave it credit for.
So who wants to start the ball rolling?
You are the selector.
Are you going to set the
I'm
bar?
gonna set. So this is a 9 out of 10 from me. This is a 9 out of 10 is pretty much my version of 10 out of 10. So.
All right.
It's going to be a 9 out of 10.
Just quickly, what would you give a 10 out of 10 to? Anything? Would you give it to anything?
Isn't this your favourite film?
No, I'd say this is probably my second favourite
Okay.
film.
Would you give your favourite film a 10 out of 10?
No, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Like, would you give
John Wick.
Tetris
No.
a 10 out of 10? Because if you would not give Tetris a 10 out of 10, you are just incorrect. Would you not give The Perfect Game?
I've not really played it much, so I don't think I can
Tetris.
fairly rate it.
So good. Anyway, what would you give Tetris?
No, Grand Budapest Hotel.
The Grand Tetris. To be fair, I'm pretty sure it looks like
The exotic Tetris Hotel. Well, this is a hard one to rate, even for me.
even for the 10 out of 10 king himself.
Because
Is he going to take it seriously?
it's a comedy. As a comedy, for viewing it of going into it, it's like I want to laugh. It does that only some of the time, and going for a drama, it does only that some of the time. So if it's 2 5 out of 10s added together, it's getting a 10 out of 10 from me.
The
Harry.
running joke, but I'm just going to seem like a cynical bastard now for giving it a 7 out of 10. Because it's a 4-star film. Which is, again, is a 7 out of 10. So it's a lower band 4-star. It's good.
What would you give it as a percentage?
High 70s.
What would you give it using Eurogamer's essential,
I'd
recommended avoid blank sort of medal system?
Is there a middle one where it's if it's on, watch it, don't
I think
pay
they
loads
just.
of money to see
I think
it?
that's just they don't give it anything.
All right. Not essential, but it's just good.
Also
7 out of
recommended,
10 is very good.
right? The silver,
7 out of
the
10
silver
is
medal.
still good. It's just not great. It's not a great film.
We'll see in 7 years when you watch it again, Harry.
Set in 7 years' time. In the past.
And before we leave, what's your favourite zeros? Because we've set up the battle of the zeros.
Oh yeah,
Picking
we
these two
haven't really
ones.
said there's another character called Zero in
To be
here.
fair, I prefer Zero from the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Really?
Because I've spent far more time
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah, Zero has more of
Big
a
knife
personality.
though.
As in the one in Grand Budapest Hotel.
He doesn't just speak on haiku.
Well,
Yeah.
Although Zero doesn't have a line as good as innuendo. So
Zero is great. Fucking swords, man. I'm gonna cop out. My favourite Zero is Zero from Code Geass. And I will leave on that non-answer.
that is I don't even know what that is.
Man,
Anyway,
but
I think it's
has to not make sense in the style of reviewing.
I think we've sat in this year for too long.
It's time to crank the time machine back.
By spinning the wheel.
Yes.
The only way
Yes,
is the
that's-
time machine.
Yeah, why did we
thingy.
wire it up like that? So we have to turn a wheel.
I mean, none of us did any arts A levels or GCSEs or RM, so we can't wire it up. I mean, we're just stuck like this.
That's what you get when you get 2 physicists and a media student.
Don't
yeah.
include me in the physicist label because I'm far too incompetent.
This is becoming too real worldy. Spin the wheel. What the fuck is going on?
It's wheeled
It's
into
stuck.
the fourth dimension.
There's 3 options, and it's in the middle of all 3. How is this possible?
Harry Potter.
There's a time-space warp around our wheel. Time machine's
what I would
malfunctioning.
recommend to you guys is in the 365 or 66, depending if it's a leap year, journey back. I recommend you play everything.
Yeah.
You watch every film,
Mm-hmm.
and you be prepared for whoever selects 2013's Game of Film. Be prepared.
It's going to be a mystery.
There's one thing that's certain. There's always a girl and there's always a lighthouse. That's the only certainty we've got here. Anyway, any more for any more? Is that all?
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I think we're
Thank
into
you for
the-
listening.
Thank you for consuming.
Anyway, we are Mediate Podcast everywhere.
We should be.
And if we're not there yet, we will be someday.
Come on, Harry, you're the media student.
Listen on SoundCloud, whatever that is. Follow us on Twitter. Leak us on Fakebook. Fuckbook.
No, don't send them there.
Subscribe on YouTube, but don't actually.
I like how you actually said YouTube.
Yeah, but I had a message. The sentence was not finished. I put a comma
Sorry,
in.
Sorry.
Listen,
It was a
you're
rogue
going off
comma.
script.
Script.
You're going off script,
Going off the
Jonno.
English language, Tono.
We're ascending to a higher dimension.
We're going. It's like Doctor Who regenerating, which is totally not happening tonight. Okay, and visit our website, mediatepodcast.wordpress.com, which I haven't done anything to because fucking you guys do it. I don't. Anyway,
You're the media student.
stop, man! You've said that like 4 times.
Because you are. You're meant
Yeah.
to know how this
We're all,
works.
we're
You're
all
the-
media
You're the
students
physics
right
student,
now.
and we're trapped in a time machine. So you fix that, okay? With your Doctor Who shirt.
I'm working on the time machine. I'm
Alright.
working on the time
If I was going to go back to my sub clause about YouTube, if you watch
Yes.
podcasts like a wrong 'un, maybe you'll be able to watch some videos soon. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be able to
Maybe
watch some
we
more
are
podcasts
expanding
of
out.
a different breed.
Maybe we'll become a conglomerate like mega corporation,
All I can
like
say
Hyperion.
is you must stay tuned for exciting projects in the future. Very exciting projects. I
Dot,
mean,
Dot.
some of the ideas we got going around with this
This
time
is the
machine.
most drawn out ending ever.
Is there anything that people can rate us on yet?
No,
Oh,
I don't want to be rated. I can't deal with rejection.
well, give us 5 stars,
I
or we
know
will
what I'd
remember
give the
that.
Mediate podcast.
Oh, that's such a good ending. Just end it now.